So a lot of gaming journalists are upset over the fact that there isn't enough diversity in the upcoming Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy XVI, which I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, by the way, and I'm honestly excited about Final Fantasy XVI. I enjoyed playing 15, but holy shit, 16 looks really fucking good. I'm not gonna lie, the graphics in that game are amazing, and I am looking forward to playing Final Fantasy XVI. But nevertheless, the producer of Final Fantasy XVI actually spoke up on this, and I'm going to read you his exact quotes. So this is coming from an interview that he did with IGN, and here is exactly what he said in regards to diversity in the game. This is a difficult question, but not one that was unexpected, seeing as diversity in entertainment media has become a much discussed topic as of late. The answer I have, however, may end up being disappointing to some depending on individual expectations. Our design concept from the earliest stages of development has always heavily featured medieval Europe, incorporating historical, cultural, political, and anthropological standards that were prevalent at the time. When deciding on a setting that was best suited to the story we wanted to tell, the story of a land beset by the Blight, we felt that rather than create something on a global scale, it was necessary to limit the scope to a single landmass, one geographically and culturally isolated from the rest of the world in an age without airplanes, television, or telephones. Due to the underlying geographical, technological, and geopolitical constraints of this setting, Valencia was never going to realistically be as diverse as, say, a modern-day Earth, or even Final Fantasy XIV that has an entire planet and moon worth of nations, races, and cultures at its disposal. The isolated nature of this realm, however, does end up playing a large part in the story and is one of the reasons Valencia's fate is tied to the rest of the world. Ultimately, we felt that while incorporating ethnic diversity into Valencia was important, an over-incorporation into this single corner of a much larger world could end up causing a violation of those narrative boundaries we originally set for ourselves. The story we are telling is fantasy, yes, but it is also rooted in reality. Conversely, the Final Fantasy series of games have always inherently dealt with conflict and struggle, especially between the empowered and those used and or exploited by those privileged few, a prominent trend in human history. In a game that by design allows players to experience that conflict and struggle firsthand through dynamic, realistic battles, it can be challenging to assign distinctive ethnicities to either antagonist or protagonist without triggering audience perceptions, inviting unwarranted speculation, and ultimately stoking flames of controversy. The best part of pulling inspiration directly from history, however, is that it allows us to revisit and re-examine our own pasts, while also allowing us to create something new. In the end, we simply want the focus to be less on the outward appearance of our characters and more on who they are as people. People who are complex and diverse in their natures, backgrounds, beliefs, personalities, and motivations. People whose stories we can resonate with. There is diversity in Valencia. Diversity that, while not all-encompassing, is synergistic with the setting we've created and is true to the inspirations from which we are drawing. So obviously I agree with Yoshida here. Forced diversity is not the way to go, and I'm glad that he's being diplomatic here. I mean, it's their game, it's their story that they're trying to tell, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what any of us thinks. I mean, if the story makes sense for there to be a black main character, then there will be a black main character. I mean, he's more focused on the characters themselves, like as a person, rather than their race or the color of their skin. I mean, I don't understand these journalists and why they're so asphyxiated on the appearance of a character rather than the actual character itself. I mean, it's clear that they want a virtue signal and they want to say that Square Enix is racist. I mean, that's obviously what's going on here. They could care less about the developers wanting to be creative here. They'd rather have their woke game so that way everybody's all happy, right? I mean, look at how well that turned out for St. Rose. Yeah, fucking garbage game. See, I'm glad that Yoshida spoke up about this and basically put it to them that, yeah, this is our game, this is the way we're going, deal with it. So I'll end the video by saying this. I support the idea of diversity as long as it makes sense to the creators and as long as it makes sense to the story that they're trying to tell, then I'm perfectly fine with it. But when it comes to forced diversity, it's completely unnecessary, and that's just one of the things that turns me away from a game. But nevertheless, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comment section below. Also, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more thoughts, discussions, and reviews of games. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that way you'll be notified when my next video goes up. Anyways, this has been PC signing out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay classy.